Hey traders, this is Blake Morrow with Trader Summit, and with me today I have Brent Donnelly of SpectraMarkets.com. Brent, how are you?
Hey Blake, I'm good. I'm good. It's been a pretty interesting week after what's been a couple of not so interesting months. So I'm happy that things are getting interesting again.
I'm glad that we're talking today. Today we had scheduled, we were going to talk about Alpha Trader, and we're going to talk a little bit about that, and we will still do that. But because volatility has picked up, because we've seen a little bit of a sell-off in equities, we thought it'd be a good idea. Both Brent and I thought it'd be a good idea talking about current subjects and what's happening in the market. So what's on your radar right now? I mean, we're seeing some risk off. We haven't seen any type of, pullback in equities for quite some time. And now we're getting a little bit of a move lower. What's on your radar at this moment?
Yeah, it's really interesting how things have evolved. So last week I was writing a little bit about how I think people would have PTSD into this FOMC meeting, given that the June meeting, which was the last major meeting, was extremely hawkish relative to expectations, mostly because of the dots. And you could feel that there was some angst starting to build about the dots at this meeting. But then since that was last Tuesday, last Wednesday, obviously a lot's happened with Evergrande, and then people are trying to get either position long dollars into the Fed or at least reduce short dollars and reduce whatever reflationary trades they had left on the books. And then in the meantime, this Evergrande stuff obviously has picked up a lot of momentum, and you really see it in the areas that are most sensitive to infrastructure, like BHP stock, for example, iron ore, which is used to make steel mostly. So things that are related to building and infrastructure have really got clobbered. So just as a note, I think anyone looking forward should keep an eye on specifically on iron ore and BHP as it pertains to the whole infrastructure story there.
Yeah.
But then the interesting thing to me is now we've got a lot of pretty big shorts put on in Aussie from what I've seen, and also from the CFTC data, which confirms that. And you're going into Tuesday, which historically, I wrote about this in my piece today, so people can check it out if they want. But historically, there's this really strong effect where if you're down Thursday, Friday, and decent amount on Monday, Tuesday tends to be a very large rebound. And the amazing thing about that is that I was literally writing about this in 2008, and it still works. It doesn't work every time. It works 64% of the time when you have Thursday, Friday down, Monday down more than 1.5%. You get a 64% chance of a rally on Tuesday. And there's sort of some basic psychology behind that, which is people get nervous into the weekend. They sell. There's a lot of scary stuff in the media on the weekend, and it's related to whatever that people were selling for on Thursday and Friday, which in this case is China and
Right.
that deflationary story there. And then there's a lot of momentum. People bail on Monday. Shorts get set on Monday, and then everyone gets squeezed on Tuesday when the buy the dippers come in usually. So it's an interesting setup from that point of view. But then also, to me, the biggest position out there in FX right now is short Aussie. And you also have China reopening on Wednesday, which is Tuesday night New York time. So you have turnaround Tuesday, which is what I was already just describing. Then you have China opening on Tuesday night, which if you're short, you got to be a little bit nervous about that. They can always announce something. I think the general view is that Evergrande will not get bailed out. And in fact, it's kind of a symptom of a policy that they're enacting, which is trying to squeeze the bubble, or squeeze the speculative side out of the real estate to keep individual home buyers happy. Yeah. So they're accomplishing something that they're doing on purpose, that I don't think that then calls for a massive bailout. But what it might call for is a little bit of a help to smooth the landing. They create some kind of entity to spin off some of the real estate. I don't know what the thing would be, but I think people will be nervous about that. So China has been closed, just to be clear, for holidays. Closed Monday, Tuesday, opens Wednesday. So that's Tuesday night our time. And then you have the Fed on Wednesday. So all those things add up to me in a what looks like a pretty oversold stock market in the US as well, to a little bit of upside risk for the next few days. And that's a pretty short-term time horizon. I think bigger picture, the Evergrande stuff is still pretty bad. It's bad in terms of just a deflationary impact on global growth. And that's going to be hard to shake, even if there's some kind of mini bailout or something. So, but I would say over the next few days, I'm more constructive, specifically after the close today, because this turnaround Tuesday thing, generally the optimal way to play it is to jump in at the close on the Monday. So we're a little bit early for that now, but by the time people are watching this video, probably about the right time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense. And, we're going into Wednesday and we've got the Fed. So do you have any thoughts as we head into the Fed for the next couple of weeks or a couple of days? Because will the Fed chairman, I mean, does he have reason to be hawkish at this point or lean the market towards a taper, especially with what's happening in China? Maybe they're like, well, why don't we just continue to be dovish, if you will?
Yeah, I think the challenge is that the Fed is a very slow moving, it's like an aircraft carrier, right? So I think a lot of times the market thinks of them as this jet ski that's responding to the Delta variant and responding to Evergrande and all that. But I don't really see it that way. It's more like the leads and lags are so long and variable with their policy that they make a decision to slowly turn the boat and they keep turning it. And so the challenge this time is, again, same as last time, is the dots. How many hikes show up in for 2024? Because this is our first view of the dots for 2024. And it's a tricky one because it seems like within the committee, there's the core, which wants to stay as dovish as possible and delink tapering from rate hikes. And then there's a bunch of people that are much more hawkish and worried about inflation. And they have their constituents, the regional people, their constituents are screaming about inflation. So it's an interesting one. And a week ago, I would have said that the skew is towards a higher dollar and a hawkish outcome. But I mean, at these levels, that I would say the opposite. At this point, I think the market has kind of de-risked enough into the Fed that the interesting outcome now would actually be if it sounded a little bit more dovish. And the way that they can do that, assuming that they're kind of on autopilot for taper, which that's my belief, like I said, that's sort of aircraft carrier kind of thing. The way they can do that is get people to put their dots really low for 24. So I'm sure Powell's frantically out there on the phone trying to get as many people on side as possible to keep their dots low for 24 and keep this thing as smooth as possible.
That makes a lot of sense, Brent. Well, I want to mention for those people at home, if you guys love these videos from Brent, make sure you click the subscribe button, give us a thumbs up on YouTube. And also, Brent, we've got less than 30 days to subscribe to your free AMFX newsletter, which I have to mention is probably one of the most popular FX newsletters around and have been since how long?
I started writing in 2004, believe it or not.
Wow. That's okay.
So the new thing now is it always went, sorry to interrupt. It always went to institutional people in the past. It was institutional only. Yeah. But now I've broadened my reach. So like you said, yeah, people can subscribe and check it out for free till October 15th.
That's awesome. And, I can't guarantee the next time we're going to talk about Alpha Trader because I really want to come back to that subject. And if you guys haven't picked up this book, you should.
And you're so good at marketing.
I'm just saying, I love the book, but
I love it.
But I wanted to. We had such a great discussion planned, but we can't stop the markets. And hey, if they're moving, we need to be talking about them. So, Brent, I want to thank you so much for joining us today, and I look forward to the next time that we get to speak one-on-one.
Awesome. Thanks a lot.
Have a great day.
Ciao.